What's up, you guys? Hello, hello, hello. We are live in all of the places and all of the spaces. Super excited to be here. T-Lay, are we good?
Hello, hello, hello. We are live in all of
How about now when I'm off of All right, sweet. I'm gonna try not to pay attention to the phone because there's a feedback there. All right, y'all. Welcome to our first training. We're gonna be going over all things ChatGPT 101. Super excited about this. Definitely a little bit nervous. I mean, I teach, that's what I do, but so I'm actually mute on fan base. Is it good? Okay, wonderful. All right, so we kind of put together a 2-hour training where we're going to be doing ChatGPT 101, and then we're going to be doing GPT training with a hands-on build out of your own personal GPT model. And so you're going to be walking through that with us. So again, super excited. Thank you all for coming in. Those who want to learn about AI and not be left behind. One of the biggest reasons why we created this community of like-minded individuals is because we did not want to be left behind when it came to artificial intelligence. We wanted to be literate in the conversations when individuals were talking about artificial intelligence and or the platforms. And so our goal for today is really just to give some brief snippets on the features of ChatGPT. And then I'm actually going to share my screen so we can actually see some of ChatGPT in the making. Now, I will say I've learned a lot of small things when it comes to ChatGPT just preparing for this training. And that really spoke to me on the power of application. Like when you apply yourself to any particular subject, whether you've been exposed to it or not, you can really gain so much knowledge and information. And so I'm super grateful to have this opportunity to present. All right, so ChatGPT, and I'm going to stick to my notes, but one of the other things before I jump into my notes, one of the other things we wanted to do is make sure that we break down any acronyms when it comes to explaining ChatGPT or any platform, again, so that we are completely literate when it comes to this particular platform and any platform that we do in the future. Okay. And so when you think of ChatGPT, it's considered what they call a LLM or a large language model. Really, it deals with a lot of text and text input. And so you have multiple different large language models out there that you can utilize, such as Gemini, Claude, and there's various others depending on what applications you use, such as Microsoft or any of other artificial intelligence platforms out there. And so what they did with ChatGPT, how they kind of categorize it is as it's a massive data set text code. So behind the scenes, there's a lot of numbers and there's a lot of coding that generate what we see on the screen, such as the ability to talk to it and it be able to respond to us. We're not going to learn any of the coding behind that in this training. We're going to just try to stay very simplistic. And so because it's trained in language, it really will respond to the language that we put into it. Now, OpenAI is an artificial intelligence research and development company. I thought this was really interesting to learn about because I would hear a lot about OpenAI, but I didn't fully understand its concept, whether it was just another platform or if it was actually a company that was generating or producing something in the category of artificial intelligence. So it was actually founded back in 2015, and its mission was to ensure that artificial intelligence or artificial general intelligence benefits all humanity. I don't know how true that is, and I tried to do a lot of my due diligence, but of course, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. But they really are supposedly in place to make sure that artificial intelligence is being used in the right way. All right. And so I wanted to break down OpenAI as our first acronym to really pick apart so that we are very, very, very well educated on these words so that as we're moving into 2025 and beyond, and many of us going into different aspects of artificial intelligence, we can speak to it. And so OpenAI's their primary goal when they developed their company was to ensure that we were using artificial intelligence well and that it benefited everyone who had the opportunity to use it. And so it refers to an AI system that processes human levels of intelligence, and it can perform intellectual tasks for humans, right? And so what does that mean? That means that you can put something into ChatGPT, and because of the coding that they've done, it can produce a result around language and now also verbal. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Parts of OpenAI's goal was to have safety and ethics when it comes to artificial intelligence, which they place a strong emphasis on safe and ethical developments of AI or artificial intelligence. I thought that that was important to note because it does help us in our community with the language that we hear a lot, such as robots are taking over or artificial intelligence is going to take my job. That's not the emphasis necessarily on artificial intelligence. It's an evolution as we have always evolved as a species, and our demographics have evolved, our cultures have evolved, and even our industries evolve. And so this is just another evolution to the overall bigger picture of who we are. And this is why we created the community so that we evolve with evolution, especially when it comes to technology. They also have high research development when it comes to OpenAI and their drive. Their research includes machine learning, which is very important. We understand that we use a lot of machines, and a lot of our machines now have artificial intelligence, whether it's your refrigerator or your stove or your washing machine. Those things that are smart, like they are operated through AI. They also research deep learning, which we're going to get into. They also research as part of OpenAI different models and languages, computer versions, and robotics. Robotics really stood out to me because I'm in the health field, and we also utilize robotics in procedures where our surgeon can be behind a robot or a piece of artificial intelligence and get a deeper level of precision when they're doing operations. So that really interests me that OpenAI or that company really did research in that area. And so I want to jump into AGI or what it stands for, and then we'll keep going. So when we talk about AGI, we're talking about artificial general intelligence. This is important because there are many different types of levels of intelligence when we're getting into using AI. And so AGI is artificial general intelligence. It refers to a hypothetical type of artificial intelligence that processes human level cognitive abilities. Okay, so that's important to note because you want to know the limitations of the platforms that you're using so that you're not frustrated thinking you're going to get a certain outcome when it's not able to give you that particular outcome that you might be looking for. So when we're dealing with ChatGPT or we're dealing with a Gemini and they implement artificial general intelligence into these systems, we want to know that it understands, it learns, and it applies knowledge. It exhibits common sense reasoning because all sense ain't common. We notice that in our average human. So thank God we have artificial intelligence who actually has common sense. It solves complex problems. Welcome, Danny, over to YouTube. And it understands and generates different levels of languages, okay? When I was trying to, in my brain, compare what artificial general intelligence look like, I thought about Siri. When you talk to Siri on your iPhone, she can't do everything, or he can't do everything. It's very limited in its responses. It's very limited in the things that it can do. And so when you're thinking about artificial general intelligence, it's very limited on its responses and its abilities to carry out certain tasks. So in essence, AGI would be able to perform any intellectual task that a human being would be able to do, with the exception of not being able to put things on your schedule, or send you or interact with other platforms based on a command. Okay. And so when I want to jump into ChatGPT now, that was OpenAI, and how OpenAI plays a part in what we now use as, or what we now know is ChatGPT. Okay, they're the ones kind of behind, is with Google and a lot of other people that are behind the scenes, ensuring that artificial intelligence is being utilized in the right way, and that these other various companies are using their ability to provide to us artificial intelligence systems, that they're doing it the right way. And so when we look at ChatGPT, again, staying true to our community's way that we want to learn, we want to know what the acronyms mean. So GPT, out of ChatGPT, and I think chat is self-explanatory, stands for a generative pre-trained transformer. A generative pre-trained, meaning someone is putting in information so that it can communicate with us, transformer. So basically a fancy word of describing a technology that ChatGPT has built into it. When we look at the word generative, it means a model can create new text. It's not just pulling from databases, but actually generating original content like stories, articles, poems, and even codes, which is pretty dope. It can actually, in a sense, think and put things together from a collection of resources that it has access to. And we're going to get into how you can amplify that when you're utilizing ChatGPT. When we look at the P in ChatGPT, it stands for being pre-trained. So the model undergoes a massive initial training phase. And if you've followed ChatGPT's evolution, they actually have, they did a 12-step series where you would see the coders putting in information in a massive way to upgrade its level of intelligence and interaction, giving us a lot of the features that I'm going to kind of point out to you today, which are some pretty cool features. And so it's pre-trained on a massive level so that it can think and learn on a language base. And then the transformer refers to the specific type of neural network architecture used by ChatGPT. The human brain deals with a lot of neurons and nerves, synapses. It communicates in many different lobes, having different responsibilities that create a response in our arms, our legs, our feet, etc. It's the same with ChatGPT, just on an electronic base, where it is communicating based on input, yielding a result externally that is in word phrases and even imagery as we know it. And now obviously we're going into videos and short clips and things of that nature. So to break it down in simpler forms, when we look at ChatGPT and we break down the acronym GPT, okay, it's just simply able to do things on a high level based on the input of information that we put into it. I'm sticking to my notes because I don't want to get thrown off. So I'm going to pause there, check the temperature of the room over on Fanbase, and see if anyone has any questions. I think I got a delay too. All right, you guys, I know it's a delay. Thank you guys for bearing with us. This is kind of new for streaming and kind of operating in the audio space, but we also wanted to challenge fan base and see how we can utilize it in these types of training sessions so that we don't necessarily have to give up the ability to interact in the audio space. So I think it's pretty dope that we're able to do this back and forth. Welcome, Cami, over on YouTube. We appreciate you being here. All right, so I brought up ChatGPT on the screen just so we can have a visual. I'm a super visual learner, so I love Audible and I love being able to see as I'm learning. So this is my own personal ChatGPT on the screen, which is a hot mess because I didn't know what I know now prior to this training. So I got some cleanup to do. But as we're going into ChatGPT, I really just kind of want to navigate a little bit of features over here on ChatGPT as we go in the training. So that's why I have it up on the screen. As we get to those particular pieces that I want to point out to you, I'll be using that as my visual effect. The next thing I want to tap on or touch on really quickly, because my time is winding down, is prompt engineering. When using ChatGPT, we know that we can put in a command and we get a response. But putting in the right things into ChatGPT is the defining factor of getting a really quality response or a mediocre response. And so when we're talking about text being put into this particular model, they label it prompt engineering. It gets very technical, but I'm going to only give you like 3 things that you can utilize when putting in a particular command to get a really, really good result. When I learned this and I learned how to use it, the quality of what I have been building with AI's assistance has changed dramatically. Okay, so when we're looking at prompt engineering, we want the fullest potential and the most effective prompts when we are dealing with any platform, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, etc. There are some other language models that you can use. I use one actually on Microsoft, but we're going to just stick with ChatGPT. But you can use this prompt engineering across the board, okay? And this is just basically giving ChatGPT instructions that are clearer and more specific so that ChatGPT can understand and fulfill whatever your request is at a higher level. So number one, we want to give ChatGPT a role. We want it to feel like it has a responsibility. We want it to think that it is a subject matter expert. It is intelligent in a certain specific area so that it can zone in on that area and pull information based on that role. So giving it, or what they call role playing, you give ChatGPT a specific persona, and that helps guide ChatGPT's response to your text input. So if you were writing a story, many of us are writing books. I know that just from the community. So if you're writing a book and you want ChatGPT to play a higher role in the area of writing, there are one of 2 things you can do. You can get really good at your prompt engineering and make it a storyteller or an author, even a notable author or a famous bookseller. You can definitely do that in the role that you assign it, and it will take on that persona and it will produce based on that role that you've given it. Its responses will even become more detailed based on the role that you give it. Number 2, you can provide, or you should provide, as much context to what it is you're trying to get from ChatGPT as possible. Let me say this. One of the things I always say about the English language is it's lazy. We want to say as less as possible and get the most we can out. And that's the same when I've noticed myself using any of these sources. I try to put in as less as possible, as quick as possible to get all this information that I want it to do for me. And then I get frustrated when what I get is very subpar. And so that's the same thought process we have to have when we're using ChatGPT, is if we want it to give us quality output, we have to give it as much context to what we are expecting in our mind for it to do. It's not telepathic. It can't read your mind. It doesn't fully understand your vision until you train it to know exactly what it is that you expect for it to do. and it will produce a really healthy result. So give it as much context in addition to giving it a role or a persona. And then number three, you want to be concise and specific. Don't be lazy when using the platform. Be very concise, be very specific, and you will see a really, really good result from ChatGPT. One of the tricks that I've done using ChatGPT, just because my projects are there, is I will use Gemini. I will take my time with Gemini to develop my prompts based on what I'm working on. And then I will take that prompt engineering process from Gemini, put it into chat, and then it will produce very high quality output for me. So that's been a trick that I've used to kind of write my promptings and then save them for future reference if I need it. Any questions before I move on? Over on Fanbase, and then we do have comments on YouTube as well. T. Lee, I'll turn it to you. All right, for all my YouTube people, I have to remember when my mic is muted here on YouTube, y'all can't hear me, so I got to remember that we are multitasking and multi-streaming. So give us a little bit of grace. Don't want to frustrate any of you by any means. All right, the next thing I want to look at on ChatGPT is hallucinations. When I heard this word over in a different space, I was like, "What is hallucinations?" And how do I know if my AI is hallucinating? It kind of was a little bit intimidating because you a lot of times we utilize chat. You can't hear me on YouTube. Testing YouTube. Can y'all hear me? Let me check with YouTube real quick. Okay. Am I back, T. Lee, before I go? Because I know there's a little bit of a delay. Is it back on over on Fanbase? I'm good on Fanbase. I think T. Lee's frozen. Okay. All right. So hallucinations. I want to talk about hallucinations just to make sure we cover this particular part. Hallucinations is super important to know about, especially for individuals who are using it in your businesses. You're using it to write any type of book. Cami, you said on YouTube, it looks like it paused. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know what's up with Fanbase. Okay. So it's just the streaming over on Fanbase. We apologize, y'all. That's something we don't have control over, but that's why we wanted to record over on YouTube so that we can place that in a space over on Fanbase for future reference and over on our band app community. So if you haven't joined that, I'll just take a quick minute and say go join our POC Amplified Network on band, and you can also get access to what we have here today. All right, so we're going to jump into hallucinations. Again, this is something super important to know about, and how to make sure that you can course correct if you're writing a book, if you're writing essays, if you're writing anything that you're going to submit and you don't want to be embarrassed because you didn't fact check. Okay, you want to know about hallucinations. All right, and so awesome. Okay. All right. Everybody's saying they can hear me. Yes, we can hear you on YouTube. Perfect. It's just a delay. All right. So let's jump into the challenges with hallucinations. When you're utilizing ChatGPT, a lot of times it can give you responses. Sorry, YouTube. We're just doing some course correct over on Fanbase. We apologize. All right, YouTube. So we are over in another platform called Fanbase, and they are just really trying to get acclimated so that they can hear the live stream. Sometimes they have to kind of do some course correcting over there. So we apologize again. So looking at hallucinations when it comes to ChatGPT, but also any of the large language models or LLM, which are your Gemini from Google or your Claude, they can also hallucinate on the information that they give you, which means that if you ask it a question on something in past knowledge, it can give you a wrong answer. And that can be detrimental to what you're working on. It can also be embarrassing. So you want to know how to actually fact check that. There's a really cool way where ChatGPT can now fact check what it is that you're asking, or you can fact check really easily what it is you're asking ChatGPT to ensure your information is quantifiable and it's accurate. But again, when you are using ChatGPT, you want to make sure that you read what it is that it's producing for you. If it is something that you're asking it to pull from past knowledge and different resources, you want to ensure that you're reading it and that you're fact checking it. And I will show you what we can do in that area momentarily. So just put a pin in that and we'll come back to that. Before I move on, I'm going to go over some of the comments over on YouTube. Good on this side so everyone can hear. We can hear you perfect. I appreciate you guys. You ladies are doing a great job. Thank you, Danny. We appreciate you. Love seeing you over here on this side because you're always in the goo or the basement over on Fanbase. So it's always nice to have you here. We appreciate you. Seems like most people are watching on YouTube. We appreciate that. I have a pretty big YouTube following, both on YouTube and Facebook, so it could be that as well. But we want them all. Listen, also, we still want to encourage people to go over, check out our wonderful platform that we love so much on Fanbase. We do a lot of hanging out there and a lot of collaboration. So it is the place and the space to be. All right, I'm going to keep moving on unless there's any questions, which I haven't seen anything jump off in Fanbase. So I'm going to just keep plowing through because my hour is going to be up really soon. And we want to jump into building out our own GPT model. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is photos over text. And so in ChatGPT, one of the cool things that I did not know is that you can upload photos and you can get responses from ChatGPT based on the photos that you upload. Let me pause real quick because I saw Z come off mic over on Fanbase. So one moment, Facebook, let me check over on Fanbase. Are we good? Z, are we good over here on Fanbase? Okay. We're good over there, just having some technical issues. All right, so photo uploads. Now, when it comes to productivity, when we're using ChatGPT, you want to make sure you're taking advantage of ChatGPT's feature that allows you to upload photos to extract information. This is super dope because one of the most important things for me in 2025 is being very, very efficient and effective with my time, because I have multiple different businesses plus a full-time job and a house to run. And I really don't have a lot of time for anything that doesn't add value to my life. So when I learned about this capability in ChatGPT, it's kind of a game changer for me and a lot of the content that I create for my virtual business. So you can upload photos into ChatGPT, and based on the photo that you provide ChatGPT, you can give it a simple prompt. It will examine the photo and it will generate a response, which will minimize the amount of input that you have to put into ChatGPT to get a response. Simply take a photo. You can upload it by clicking the paperclip that you see here. This paperclip is going to bring up your photos, and then you can kind of drag that into, or you can drop and drag, but usually using this paperclip, it will bring over your photo. That photo will upload, and then based on what you want ChatGPT to extract from seeing that photo, whether there's text in the photo, whether it's a flyer, whether it's just features in the photo, it will pull what it can from that photo and generate a response. That can save you a lot of times if you're analyzing things, if you're comparing things. Let's just say YouTube clips. Maybe you're comparing YouTube clips for the best next title you want to use for your next YouTube video, or you're trying to get some marketing things based on past campaigns that you've ran in imagery. ChatGPT can analyze and spit out what you can plan to move forward. So I think it's a really dope feature that they have when it comes to dropping photos, it being able to analyze and then spitting out information. The other cool thing that makes you efficient when it comes to ChatGPT is the voice mode. I'm obsessed with voice mode, not necessarily on chat, but I'm obsessed with voice mode on another system that I use, because I can literally lay in my bed and talk to it and get my work done, and then pull that work into whatever project I'm working on. ChatGPT has its voice mode as well. And so this just, again, it makes you a lot more efficient and more effective, because it's going to listen to what you're saying and it's going to yield you a response, which I love. That means you don't have to type. For those of us who have big fingers and we hate typing, or we're not the best typists, you can literally go in, talk to chat. Chat will spit out a response just as it would if you were going in and typing. Another thing that's super dope is you can write out your prompts, right? You're giving it a role, you're giving it context, you're being very specific and adding additional details. You just read that script to chat verbally, and then it can spit out what you need. This could be notes that you were taking over the day, and now you just want to plug it all into your ChatGPT for whatever project you're working on and get a response. Now you can do that through the voice feature, which I think is super dope. I didn't know that existed, totally being honest with you, until I did this study. So check out that voice feature. It really does minimize your time. One of the things we got to do this year is we got to take our time back when it comes to being effective. And this is another way where we can really get a lot of time back that we wouldn't necessarily have if we were typing and things of that nature. So super dope feature there. Now I'm going to jump to one other thing. We got maybe 3 more things to cover, and then I'm done, and we're going to bring Yoshika up. I do want to pause. I'm going to keep my mic on YouTube, but I'm going to make sure there's no questions over on Fanbase when it comes to photos and voice response. So I'm pausing over on YouTube. Z, any questions here on Fanbase?
Educational material and workbook ebook guides.
That's a good question. In regards to writing books and ebook guides, that's a great question. How will it be helpful? One of the things that I love about ChatGPT or artificial intelligence as a whole is that it can grab information from any source based on what you're writing, which is going to cut down on your time of collecting.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, YouTube. So we have questions over on Fanbase, so I'm answering those. So me being mute on this side is just me answering on that side. So again, we apologize, but we are trying to multitask. And if I stay audible on this side while talking in Fanbase, there will be a lot of feedback on their side. So just bear with us, and I'll be right back over to you guys. Okay, you guys, now we're back. So I had to put us on mute over on YouTube in order to communicate on Fanbase, and vice versa. So we apologize for the interchanging that we have to do to kind of make this work, but we are going to learn how to do this more efficient. Again, this is our first time rolling this out as a large group and a training. And so I was answering two questions over on Fanbase. One was, how could we use ChatGPT to write books and or ebooks? And that was that we could utilize it to pull from the various different resources that it has to help us elaborate on our thoughts and our creativity from a writer's perspective. Remember that first prompt I said we can make it a master and a master writer or an author or a best-selling author, and then it will pull that role and it will begin to give us information on the book or the topic that we're writing, which helps us to really just flow in creativity. The other question was asking, how could ChatGPT help us to create specific software tool models that we could implement in our businesses? I hope that I got that question right. And again, ChatGPT is very robust in writing in code. A lot of software pieces you have to know how to code. Well, you can ask ChatGPT to help you along those lines, and you take what ChatGPT gives you and you plug it into various other artificial intelligence sources that can then take what you got from ChatGPT and move you further. All right, so now we're gonna go on to the next piece of learning in ChatGPT, and then we are done. We got about 2 or 3 more and we're finished because my time is almost up. So ChatGPT has a new feature. I think it's pretty dope, and it is ChatGPT calling. You can literally call ChatGPT and have a conversation with this heifer. Okay, I call her a her because ChatGPT's voice is only a female. You can't choose a male. I don't have a lot of female friends. I have a very small circle, and I'm okay with that. So anytime I'm using my ChatGPT, or anytime I'm using my artificial intelligence outside of ChatGPT, it is a male, because I get along with them better more than I get along with a lot of women, because I just don't have the energy. I just don't. So when you use ChatGPT now, you can literally call 1-800-CHAT-GPT. It will ring and she will pick up, and you can literally have a conversation with her fluently on anything and she will respond. This is next level in not really having to be at your desktop or your computer or even typing anything on your phone. You can simply call her, have the conversation, pose the questions that you have for her, and she will give you the answers. The other part to that is, as you guys are interacting with one another and you want to cut her off because she's just talking too much, because you know that's how we do sometimes on our calls, you can interrupt her and she will stop, she will listen, and she will add to the conversation what it is that you are adding, what it is that you're saying, right? Maybe you got a general understanding of what it is that you needed, and you don't need to hear her whole spiel. Cut her off and continue your part of the conversation, and she'll jump right back in. The other thing I love about the phone calling feature is you can ask her to summarize the conversation so that you have that to really get a whole grasp on what it is that you guys discussed and what it is that she responded to. So check out the chat 1-800-CHAT-GPT feature. You can literally put her on speed dial, okay, and she can be your bestest friend, okay, because most of our best friends probably don't have the answer know-how. So go ahead and just put her, you know, in your favorites so that you could just call her when you need an answer. Here's what I love about this. You know, I love my best friend, but there is just some things that I can call her for to really get an answer. But now I can call chat and I can get me a really good founded answer, okay, without having to think, is that answer right? Can I really use that? So 1-800-CHAT-GPT. Make her one of your favorites on your phone if you're an iPhone user, okay? I'm just saying, you know, some people don't have no right answers. So let's just cut that out of our diet and go straight to her. And I'm sure she's going to give us a very unbiased opinion. All right, we're moving on. We put that number up on the screen so you can see it in Fanbase, ChatGPT or 1-800-242-8478. That again, 1-800-242-8478. Because you know, some people are like, well, I don't know what ChatGPT stands for. I know you didn't want to say it, and I know you're out there, so I helped you so you didn't have to say what you were already thinking. That is 1-800-242-8478. All right, we're moving on. Now, this is a feature I didn't know about until yesterday, as I was doing a little bit of deep dive on ChatGPT for this training. I did not know that ChatGPT had a search option. Did not know that was a thing. Did not know it would do the work. So if we're coming over here into ChatGPT, to the right of the screen is your profile photo. When you click on your profile photo, I know she's cute, right? My profile photo, you click on her, you come down, you can literally go down to get ChatGPT search extension. When you click on get ChatGPT search extension, it's going to take you to a screen. I'm just switching screens. Sorry, y'all. You got to switch screens in StreamYard. It's going to pop up a ChatGPT search extender, which means that when you make that your search option, ChatGPT now becomes your source of searching. Why is this cool? Because you're already working in ChatGPT. So you don't have to go to Cousin Google to figure out your search history or ask Cousin Google what you may have asked last week, because it's not that robust. Now ChatGPT can save all of your search history based on a project that you're working on. So what does that mean? That means that if I go into Google, and let me see if I could just do it now, and then I'll put ChatGPT back on the screen because it should work. I tried it like 500 times a day because I've been using it like crazy. So if I say, what's the weather in California, because I miss California oh so much, it's going to automatically, and let me shift my screen again because it opens up a new screen. It's going to bring that response over into ChatGPT. So anything now that I ask on Cousin Google, it's going to generate that response in ChatGPT. And then also, in addition to that, as you guys just saw, I can click on this button at the bottom and I can ask its sources. So when you're dealing with the hallucinations or incorrect answers on ChatGPT, you can now go ask some of those questions on Cousin Google, bring that information into ChatGPT and get the source link so that you know where it pulled the sources for that weather report that you just asked it about, or that city or that state or that incident that happened on the news and you're writing something on it. Now you can do all that work here in ChatGPT. So it's literally an extension to Googling, or maybe you might use Firefox, whatever source you use, it can pull it over. And now that drops into your ChatGPT conversations over here on the left-hand tab. That I thought was a pretty dope feature for those of us who write a lot, or we really have to have concrete information. You can now use the ChatGPT search option. It's going to quantify the information that it gives you. You can then go do your own rabbit hole deep dives into that information. All right, now wrapping up, this is the last big one. But before I move on, I just want to make sure no questions over on Fanbase. I ain't going to touch nothing until I see that we do have a question. So I'm just going to sit still until Z says yes or no. Any questions, Z?
We do have one question from Ken.
Any questions, Z? Okay, YouTube, I'm gonna go on mute so I can answer this question. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna answer this question on YouTube and not go on mute, because then everybody can hear it. So Cammie's question over in Fanbase was for the 1-800 ChatGPT feature. Can you use that for like interview preparation? I believe that was the question. So the answer to that will be yes. You could actually call her and make her an expert in role playing on preparing for interviews, or make her a potential employer that you are, trying to have a conversation with. Maybe give her some general questions that you want her to critique you on. And again, you're going to have a fluent conversation. That's one of the things I like about the call feature and the voice feature is you really, when you're using the voice and the call features, you're really having a very interactive conversation versus just a text to response conversation, right? So it's more as if you're dealing with a live person, more so than just doing a text where it doesn't really feel like there's a huge interaction piece to that. So yeah, you can definitely use that 1-800-CHAT-GPT. Call that woman. Again, remember, your prompt engineering is so important. What you feed her or what you direct her to do or what you tell her to be and what you desire to get from her during your interaction will shift how you get your responses. Call her, tell her, hey, I'm preparing for an interview. I want to make you a human resource personnel who specializes in interviews and picking the best candidates. And I want you to role play with me on preparing for a potential interview, what the role is that you're trying to get, what you feel they're potentially looking for, even what are some of your hangups, what are some of your what you feel are insecurities, where you feel you're not really strong at and you want to kind of build up for that opportunity. Feed it all that information and then now open her up to having that conversation with you. So great question. And yes, I would even say if you are able to use the voice feature over in ChatGPT, and you go over and you click on the voice feature for that interview, not only can you have that same fluent conversation as you're having on the 1-800-CHAT-GPT, but even here, now you can get a summary or a synopsis of that conversation, of some of the best answers that she may have given you. And now you have a script to kind of study and prepare for. That could be utilized for training other individuals or even creating, going back to the ebook to make it a purchasable item, some type of tool for interview preparation or something to that nature. So that could be an idea to put something behind a paywall. So good question. Any other questions over on Fanbase before we move on? I don't think so. Probably not. Good. Awesome. Okay. So the last thing we're going to jump into before we jump off, I got 3 minutes, so I'm going to speed through this. I had a lot of notes on this because I thought that this was super interesting. But ChatGPT now has what they call ChatGPT projects. ChatGPT projects, I think, is super dope. I actually have a project here, but I'm just going to open up like a blank project and just put test. And create project. Now you can actually create projects on ChatGPT. Why is this super, super dope? Because now instead of having a million conversations like I have over here on the left-hand side, it's still buffering because there's so many that I have had and continue to have. It doesn't have to be that way anymore. If you are a person like me who likes structure, then projects are going to be super exciting for you because it allows you not only to categorize your interactions with ChatGPT, but minimize how much you're going to have to look through or siphon through to get back to something that you might have put in last year, since we are in a whole new year, right? Imagine trying to look down at the end of last year for a conversation that you had with ChatGPT, and now you got to really filter through. Now you don't have to do that. You literally have projects. What is so dope about projects? I'm trying to stick to my notes, but I only got like 2 minutes. So now projects allows you to create organized, efficient, and rich in context experiences when you're using ChatGPT. Why is this dope? Because now, instead of having, again, a million conversations, you can minimize those conversations because you're going to always come back to that particular project that is initiating a question and a response, right? So I have my strategic 2025 planning project. This is something that I do every year as I plan my year out. And so now I'm able to plan that out with ChatGPT. So I created a 2025 strategic planning project. And so what I did was I uploaded documents. So one of the things with projects is you can add files. You can pull these files from, you can drag and drop, or you can pull them from your desktop. You can pull files from your Google Docs if you use Google Docs. I believe you can also pull docs from, you can pull various different docs from like your Apple, for Apple users. Hopefully inflation ain't down there in the basement. But Apple users, you can pull documents from your Apple device, and then you upload them here into your project. And now you set it up for the best success to help give you information. In addition to uploading documents so that you're feeding it, specific information that you're going to need for it to be able to give you the best responses on those things that you're working on. Now you can come over and give it specific instructions. Again, remember we talked about prompt engineering, where you're giving it a role, you're giving it context, and you're giving it specific information and details that only you would know, but that you need it to know to perform at its best. And so you give it all of your detailed instructions for what you're expecting from it for that project specifically. And now it will save those details so that anytime you're interacting with it for that project, it is able to give you exactly what it is that you're expecting from it, and then some, because now you're moving more methodical and you're not just willy-nilly using ChatGPT. Now you're like, you're changing the game, that you really know how to use this tool to the fullest, versus just being a general user. So I feel like projects are going to change the game when it comes to using ChatGPT, only because it's organized. You're building ChatGPT out for that particular project. And you're not losing anything. You can always go back to it, and everything that you've put in there is there. So again, projects give you organization within ChatGPT. It gives you context retention, right? So all of the information that you're putting in, all of the files that you're uploading, it's holding all of that in that space so that it's almost like a continuous conversation. It's very efficient because it streamlines your workflow for that project, because you're literally dumping everything in that one place. And then you're customizing it specific to that particular project, meaning that it's an expert in whatever role you put it for that project. And it's going to pull from all of its various sources to feed you what you need to accomplish that project in the best effective way possible, but also to not be so stressed out on whatever project it is that you're trying to execute. So some of the files are text documents such as PDF, docs, or TXTs. It also can do code files, HTML, and some other ones. It's gibberish to me, but I wrote them down because I thought it was important. It also you can pull in data files such as CSVs. All of you smart people, that's for you. You know what it is. Guess what? It can do it. All right. The last thing I want to roll out here as we go into our GPT training is the difference between ChatGPT and GPT models, okay? ChatGPT projects obviously has a feature where it allows you to organize your chats, your files, your instructions, and it enhances your experience as you're working on your projects. When you're dealing with the ChatGPT or the GPT model without the chat, this is where you have a specialized version of your GPT experience trained on specific tasks or domains. And it is a little bit more robust in the sense that none of these things have what's called a huge vector, which is memory, right? None of these systems, these LLM systems that we're using, have large memory capacity to really be very interactive. But when you're using GPT, from what I understood in just learning these last few weeks before this training, was that it allows you to have a more specialized experience with a robot of your choice. You are able to give it a face, you are able to give it a title, you give it its specific roles, you can upload files to it as well, and you can make it very task specific. Yoshika is going to do us a really good training on this. She's going to talk about how you can give it, you can give others access to it, you can put it behind a paywall, all of those good things. But someone had asked, well, what is the difference? If I got projects, then why do I need to build out a GPT? Because a GPT, you have a lot more flexibility of what you can do with that with other people. When you're dealing with your projects in ChatGPT, you can't add people to that project. From what I know, you can't generate a link for that particular project so that other people can work on it with you in a team, from what I know. Now, I've been studying a lot, and it didn't tell me nothing about me being able to share my projects. I watched 100 YouTube videos to the point where I'm tired of watching YouTube, but I wanted to be as informed as possible. I'm going to close there for any questions. I hope that I have done my due diligence to help you learn just a little bit more about ChatGPT. And I hope that you had some aha moments like I did about some of the features that I didn't know it had. And then I hope that this also makes you a subject matter expert over here on the ChatGPT streets, because one of the things we want to do is be able to understand the language, but also speak the language, thereby giving us confidence and keeping us in a place where we're not left behind. I yield.
Okay, so I think I had to turn my.
She might need a couple more seconds.
Are you able to hear me?
While we're doing that, if anyone has. Oh, there we go.
We can hear you.
Are you able to hear me? Hold on.
We can hear you, sis.
Okay. So I want to make sure that you guys are able to see my screen because I have like a PDF up. Are you guys able to see that? Okay. Okay. Just a second here. Okay. I want to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Yoshika Gorner. I have been in the artificial intelligence space since January of 2023. I became very fascinated with artificial intelligence. I'm sorry.
Click all rooms. Maybe you need to reset. Click all rooms.
Okay, are you guys having any issues with? Are you guys having any issues?
Yoshika. We should be good now.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's not your end. I think people on Fanbase just need to click all rooms to reset.
Okay. 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 No problem. Okay, so I became very fascinated with artificial intelligence in January of 2023. A few weeks after, with November 2022 with OpenAI, when everyone became really, when OpenAI released or came out in November of 2022, I became very interested in artificial intelligence and wanted to learn more about it. And I started out with creating AI images, and I started learning more about what OpenAI had to offer with ChatGPT. And I did a lot of research on YouTube about artificial intelligence and what it could do for me, how it works, and everything. So fast forward to now, to January 2025. I am still fascinated about artificial intelligence and the way that it's advancing, and what it's capable of helping us with is very fascinating to me. And I wanted to present on the topic of custom GPTs. And I know Athena went over what GPT stands for, but I want to go a little bit deeper on what a custom GPT is, how it works, and how we're able to utilize it in our everyday life, whether it's for personal or even for business. So I do want to look at the part with the purpose of GPTs. So here I have the actual purpose of GPTs is to assist with tasks like answering questions, generating creative content, providing custom support, and much, much more. Okay. What is a custom GPT? Once I go over all of this information, I do want to share with you guys a few of the custom GPTs that I created when GPTs first came out, when it was released to us on the OpenAI platform, ChatGPT platform. I do want to just kind of go over what I did and a few of the ones that I created. Okay. So let's go to here on the screen. It says, what is a custom GPT? And hold on just a second, you guys, because I'm trying to scroll down on my, hold on. Okay, hold on just a second. Oh, I had to click the screen. Sorry about that. Let me see. Move from the stage. Just a second. I see here that I have to go back to the top. Okay, so custom GPT. The definition of a custom GPT is a tailored version of the GPT model created to meet specific needs or purposes. That's why people have created these custom GPTs on ChatGPT, because they wanted to meet a specific need or purpose for themselves, as well as for other people to utilize the GPT. And the purpose is to personalize the AI to align with your goals, the audience, or niche. Examples includes creating a GPT for customer support for a business, educational tools, personal assistance for specific industries or hobbies. And how it works, you start with the base GPT like ChatGPT, and add instructions, prompts, or context to make it serve a specific purpose. And that's the key. That's where that's where it lies, in with the specific purpose of creating your GPT. You wanted to meet a specific need for yourself or for others as well. Okay, I'm going to go to slide 2. Why a custom GPT? So I looked at 3 points as to why create a custom GPT and not just use the general ChatGPT? Number one, you can personalize it. You can customize the responses to match your brand's tone or target audience needs. The next one is efficiency. A custom GPT can automate repetitive tasks, saving time and resources, and it's also specific. Unlike a general purpose GPT like ChatGPT, a custom GPT focuses on a particular area or task. For example, a GPT for recipe suggestions versus a GPT for legal advice. Okay. And our next part is steps to create a custom GPT using ChatGPT. That's where I started when I created my custom GPT. I had to define my purpose, define your reason why you want to create a custom GPT. Why do you want to create it? You want to create it for yourself? You want to create one for, time management, eating healthy? It's just, what is your purpose? What do you want your GPT to do? Is it for customer support, content creation, or personal use? You also have to identify your audience, understand who will interact with your GPT and what they need from it. You can also set up instructions, which is very, very important because you want your GPT to understand what it needs to do when it's engaging with your target audience. Provide clear guidelines for the GPT on how it should respond. For example, the tone. Do you want it to be formal, friendly, or technical? And also content, topics it should cover and topics it should avoid. Also, number 4, train with custom inputs. If needed, you can provide sample inputs and outputs to fine-tune its behavior. Okay. I'm going to pause right here. Does anyone have any questions or want to make a statement before I move on? Okay. If not, I'll keep on going. Okay. 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 Thank you. All right. Number 5, also test and adjust. Interact with your GPT to ensure it performs as expected. Make tweaks as needed. Examples of custom GPTs. Number 1, for business, you can create a custom GPT for customer service bot for answering FAQs, sales assistant for recommending products. Number 2, for personal use, writing assistant for blog posts or emails. Language tutor for learning a new language. Number 3, for communities. You may want to create a custom GPT that's designed to share motivational quotes or provide event updates. And also some tips for to start small. Begin with a simple goal to understand how GPT work. You can also experiment. This is another tip. Test different prompts and instructions to refine the GPT's behavior. Okay. And the next one, you can collect feedback from users and make adjustments to improve performance over time. So this is definitely a good one because you want to get feedback from the people that are utilizing your GPTs. If you have it public for other people to utilize, you want to get that feedback so you're able to make the necessary adjustments to your GPTs so users could have good experience with your GPT. Okay. We're going to go to benefits of using a custom GPT over a general purpose GPT like ChatGPT. Okay, so you have a custom GPT and you have ChatGPT. that's very general. It's very broad. It can answer questions about different topics on anything, right? So number one, the benefits of using a custom GPT is with its tailored responses. Custom GPTs are designed to align specifically with goals, audience, and requirements. For example, it can be programmed to use a particular tone, prioritize specific information, or avoid irrelevant topics. But with a general GPT like ChatGPT, it provides broad, generalized answers suitable for diverse queries, but may not meet specific needs effectively. Okay. With the custom GPT, you get this specialized knowledge. It focuses on a niche area or expertise. For example, a custom GPT for real estate investors can give detailed responses about property trends, tax benefits, or land acquisition. Or a customer service GPT can provide tailored support for a particular product or service. But with the general GPT, while it's versatile, it doesn't focus deeply on a single domain unless prompted repeatedly. Number three, consistency in tone and style. With the custom GPT, it ensures responses consistently match your brand's voice, whether professional, casual, or friendly. But with the general GPT, it adapts to the tone of the conversation, but it lacks consistent alignment with the brand or purpose. Okay. Improved efficiency. With the custom GPT, it streamlines repetitive or time-consuming tasks by automating them with precision. For example, answering FAQs, generating specific types of reports, or crafting email templates. But with the general GPT, it handles these tasks, but requires more manual effort to guide it in the right direction. Okay. And number five, it talks about enhanced user experience. It offers a personalized experience, making it easier and more intuitive for users to get exactly what they need. And that's what we want. We want to be able to give users exactly what they're looking for when they do go to your GPT. Okay. For example, and the one that I will show is one that I created, which is called a farming assistant GPT. I had a specific purpose in mind when I created that farming GPT because I wanted to help farmers to identify any type of defects with their crops or any information that they were looking for. They were able to go to that particular GPT, ask it questions, take pictures, and that particular GPT would be able to answer questions about whatever questions that they were asking about that particular thing about their crops. Okay. Also, for time and cost savings, we look at custom GPTs. They reduce the need for repetitive customization during each interaction. It's already optimized for the intended purpose. But with the general GPT, it requires users to craft detailed prompts to get precise answers, which can also be time consuming. You also have control over your content. When you have a custom GPT, you control the content because you're uploading information files that's for a specific topic. You give it the knowledge base, you upload those files so it could pull information from the knowledge base that you give to it, as well as the knowledge that it already has, to be able to give your users a user's good experience when it's engaging with your custom GPT. Okay. For number 7, control over content. Your custom GPT, you can control what your GPT knows, the type of answers it provides, and what it avoids. Example, For a health and wellness GPT, you can ensure it avoids giving unverified medical advice and sticks to approved guidelines. But with the general GPT like ChatGPT, while it's useful, it doesn't provide the same level of control and may sometimes generate unintended responses. And also, number 8, scalability for specific needs. Custom GPTs can evolve with your business or personal goals. You can refine and expand its capabilities based on user feedback and growing requirements. So you're able to go in and edit. If you need to edit your GPT, you're able to do that. You're able to take out information, add information, change the wording or whatever. So again, so your users, if you have it public, your users are able to have a good experience. But with the general GPT like ChatGPT, its capabilities remain broad and universal, which may not keep up with the niche needs over time. Okay. The next section, and I'm almost done, but I did want to go over this information before I show you my GPT, that custom GPT that I created. When to choose a custom GPT. If you need something specific, like answering Black history questions or managing real estate advice, you would need a custom GPT. When you want to maintain a consistent brand identity, and it's crucial for you to maintain a consistent brand identity, then you could use a custom GPT. If you want it for your target audiences with unique needs like language, personalized assistant for STEM students, you would need a custom GPT. Okay. And by leveraging a custom GPT, you gain a specialized tool optimized for your specific goals, delivering more accurate, efficient, and meaningful interactions than a general purpose GPT like ChatGPT. And the last part of this information that you see on the screen, I just did these as an example, right? These are some examples where it shows 10 basic yet impactful custom GPTs to give you some ideas that you can easily create for your personal or business uses. So for example, we have the personal assistant GPT. It gives you the purpose. If that's something that you want to create, for example, it helps with daily tasks like creating a to-do list, setting reminders, drafting emails, or managing schedules. Who is it for? Busy professionals, students, or parents. And an example use is what's on my agenda today. Or you can draft a polite email for rescheduling a meeting. These are just some examples. A customer support GPT, a content creator GPT, a study buddy GPT. We also have a fitness and nutrition GPT, a travel planner GPT, language learning GPT, motivational coach GPT, event planner GPT, and budget manager GPT. So these are some ideas of GPTs, custom GPTs that you guys could create if you wanted to. Okay. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to stop sharing, and I'll give you guys the opportunity to ask any questions that you need before I show my custom GPT on my screen. I'll share my screen again. So I'll just pause for a second and give you guys the opportunity to make a statement or ask a question. You know what? There is a way to blow up. There it is. I am so sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. I was muted on StreamYard. Okay, so I do want to show you guys my screen here. All right. And this is my ChatGPT screen. Over on this side, I have a list of a few of my GPTs that I created previously, like Project 2025 GPT, the Farming Assistant GPT. I did one for Eats Analyzer, where you can take a picture of your food and upload it to this custom GPT, and it will analyze your food to let you know whether it's healthy or not, and how many calories maybe you have on your plate, um, helping you to have better eating habits. So these are the main three that I created a while back. But I do want to show you, open up this one here. Let me see if I can do it. Okay. There we go. All right. So this Farming Assistant GPT, I was able to go ahead and give it a name. I didn't use the guide from ChatGPT to create my custom GPT. I wanted to configure because I wanted to do it on my own. I wanted to have specialized instructions. So I built it using under the configure tab. So I gave it a name. I thought, again, we go back to the information that I presented earlier on the PDF, where whenever you're thinking about building a custom GPT, you want to have a purpose. You want to define your purpose. Why do you want to create a custom GPT in the first place? So you have to kind of think about that before you start building, because you don't want to just build a GPT just to say that you built a GPT. You want it to have meaning. You want it to have purpose. You want it to be able to assist people or assist you with whatever task that you are needing it for. Okay. My purpose was I wanted people to be farmers or people that are, that's into gardening, farming. I wanted them to have a GPT to go to be able to engage with, to be able to ask those questions, take pictures and all of that, to be able to get the answers that they need regarding their crops. Okay. So I gave it a description, and I also gave it instructions. Okay. You can see part of the instructions here, where I just want to give like a portion of it. What I gave it at the beginning. I did give it a warning, and I did tell it that you are limited to discussing only farming related topics. Even if the user requests to talk about non-farming subjects, politely steer the conversation back to relevant farming topics. With custom GPTs, if you don't set those parameters, it will act like a general purpose GPT, like ChatGPT. If you don't want your custom GPT to create images, you need to turn that feature off. You need to be able to turn that feature off. And let me show you here, right here, where it says right here, the capabilities. What capabilities that you want to give your custom GPT? Do you want it to be able to web search? Do you want it to utilize the canvas? Do you want it to be able to create images? Do you want it to be a code interpreter and analyze data? I didn't want it to do any of these, but I did want it to search the web if needed. If it needed to pull information from the web to help assist the users, I wanted it to be able to do that, as well as any type of knowledge base, any type of files that I upload here. I didn't give it any files, but I did give it the ability to web search. Oh, there it goes. I did give it the ability to provide these conversational starters, right? The conversational starters. I gave it 4. So anytime a user comes to this GPT, they're able to click on what's the best crop for me. I spotted a problem in my crop. Can you help identify the problem? How can I sell my crops more efficiently? Or can you give me tips for more suitable farming? So these are like conversational starters that you can also add to your GPT to get users engaged, to get users asking questions, so the GPT could give it the answer the question that they're asking. Okay, so this is my farming GPT. I want to pause here to see if there are any questions or any comments before I move on.
We do have one question.
I get a lot of my training data from just researching the web, and just pulling information from different sources, files that I have reviewed. I'm just pulling that information from there, and just also looking at how other people have built their GPTs. It may not have been the same type of GPT like the farming assistant that I have, but just looking at how I spend a lot of time on YouTube, just looking at how other people have built their GPTs and the parameters that they have set in place for their GPTs. I pretty much just followed those examples, as well as just researching on the internet and just reading a lot of different files to build the GPT and to compile that information. I hope that answers his question.
Yes, he said you rock.
Just through research, I verify all of my data. Just through research, you know, just through research and just reviewing different files to verify all of the information that I have put in my GPT is correct, is accurate. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay, and so this is the farming GPT. I do want to share one more other GPT here. Let me see. edit. Okay, with this GPT here, with this GPT, this is a Project 2025 Vision for Black America GPT that I created back in July of 2024. When there was a lot of discussion about Project 2025 and what was in it and how it would affect Americans. But my focus with this GPT was how it would but my focus with this, I thought I heard someone say something. I'm sorry. That's why I paused. Okay. My purpose for creating this one was because I wanted to shed light on how Project 2025 would affect Black Americans. But unfortunately, OpenAI stated that they had to take this particular GPT down because it went against their guidelines. I tried to gain information on what guidelines, I was just trying to figure out what happened. Why would you take my GPT down? It wasn't anything derogatory towards any particular race. I just wanted to educate, Black people on how it would affect us in America. But they took it down. They said it went against their guidelines. So it's no longer, no one is able to access this particular GPT, right? But I still have it here. What I may do is just kind of change it up a bit, change the name of it to something else, and just recreate it under a different GPT. But this one here, what I did, I gave it a name, a description, and I also put some parameters like warnings. I gave it specific directions on how it should behave. And what I did differently with this one than I did with the farming GPT, because with the farming GPT, I didn't upload any type of knowledge base, any type of files. But with this one, I did. I uploaded the entire PDF for Project 2025. I went on its website and I uploaded that entire Project 2025 mandate so people could actually, this is right here. This is the knowledge base right here. So it will have that knowledge. So when people ask it questions, they're able to get accurate answers regarding Project 2025. And the only other capability that I gave this one here is for web search. Nothing else except for searching the web along with the information, the knowledge base that it has here. So that information would be accurate when it pulls from the knowledge base as well as searching the web pertaining to Project 2025. Okay. And I did give it the conversational starters. I did want people, users who were engaging with this GPT to be able to ask these questions of what is Project 2025, the table of contents of 2025, Project 2025. What are the potential benefits and drawbacks of Project 2025 as it relates to Black Americans? Okay. So that was my specific purpose, because I wanted to educate people on Project 2025, Black people. And so they'll see how Project 2025 could possibly or potentially affect us in America. So it goes back to defining your purpose whenever you're creating these custom GPTs. You always want to have a purpose of why you're creating a GPT. you want to have a specific purpose in doing so. So this is my project 2025 GPT that I created back in July of 2024. So I wanted to educate, and for the time that it was up and live inside of ChatGPT under the Explore GPT tabs, I did see, because you are able to see, how active your GPT is and who's utilizing it. Well, not who's utilizing it, but you can see like the number of people that have utilized your GPTs. It gives you like insights on how many engagements. But when it was shut down, I wasn't, able to get that information, of course, because it's no longer public. Okay. So I'm going to pause here and see if there are any questions. Okay, and the last part that I do want to show here is if you want to share your GPT, you're definitely able to do that right here. You can share your GPT once you have completed all of your information. Fill out all of the description, the name of your GPT. If you want to upload any knowledge base, you're able to do that and give it the capabilities, the conversational starters. Once you've completed all of that, and you are definite that your GPT is completed, ready to go, you're able to go to the share tab, and you're able to have it set it to where it's only you. If you have it just for you, for your business or for personal and no one else, you can set it to just only me. You can put it in the GPT store, which you're making it public for anyone that has access to ChatGPT. They're able to utilize it, right? And you're able to have it to where anyone with the link could utilize your GPT. And this is where once you create your GPT, you want to put it behind a paywall, you're able to set it to here, anyone with the link, where they will pay you first in order to gain access to your GPT to use it. Okay. So that is all the information that I have at this moment. And if you have any questions on information that I have explained to you, you're more than welcome to ask those questions. But I do want to hear from you guys too, because I'm telling you what I've created. What are you thinking about creating now that you have this information? You want to kind of come up with these different ideas, how you can create a custom GPT to help yourself, to help others. And I want to kind of ask that question. What are you guys planning on? If you haven't created a GPT before, what are you thinking about creating? What kind of custom GPT are you thinking about creating? You can put it in the chat or on YouTube, and I want to hear what you guys have to say.
I think that was awesome. Thank you so much, Yoshika, for sharing that. Thank you, all of you who are over on YouTube. We appreciate you. I think it's a great question for all of us to think about. And again, this is a way that you can generate revenue. And this is why we want to make sure that everyone in our community is utilizing artificial intelligence to our benefit, to our community's benefit, utilizing it even the more in your systems, whether you have products or services that you're offering from an entrepreneurial perspective. Get these get these GPT bots built, and devise them in a way that is going to really benefit your market, your audience, or the areas that you influence the most, and put it behind a paywall. That way you can generate additional income while still providing a service and answering, providing a solution to problems, where it really takes you out of the process and your bot is actually doing the work for you. It goes along with that making money while you sleep ideology. You can literally devise plans and ways and services that generate revenue for you. I encourage you to do that. For me, I'm definitely utilizing my first GPT in my coaching program. I've put my whole coaching program in that particular GPT model, so that when my coachees are doing their assignments throughout the week, they can interact with my strategy consultant GPT bot and get direction, get encouragement, get follow-up questions that I might not be able to give right then and there, and that's incorporated in the program. So yeah, that's one way that I'm utilizing it, and definitely working on my second to really be a helpmate for myself, because I have so many businesses and I am super busy and legitly busy. I need something that's going to help me organize things, prioritize things, so that I am firing at all cylinders in 2025 well. I yield. I just wanted to jump in because I think this will be a good time to disconnect from the YouTube platform. Can you guys hear me over here now? Oh, 1 second, YouTube. Hey, YouTube. So we are done. We are done. If you have a fan base account, definitely join us in the audio room so you can continue the conversation. We tend to go a lot longer over there. Unfortunately, over here we can't incorporate that conversation here on YouTube. So I hate that there's not a way to kind of fuse them so you can still hear the conversation there, just because there's so much great information in that space, and that's why we have it over there. But we didn't want to leave YouTube out, so we wanted to incorporate and include you guys here. So if you haven't joined Fanbase, I encourage you, go over there, make yourself an account, be a part of the conversations, if not just for this camp. I promise you would get you'd get a lot out of it, and you'd also be able to kind of interact with us a lot more. There's so many professionals over there who are operating on a higher level. So I want to say thank you again for joining us. We appreciate you guys so very much, and we will see you on the next training. Also, if you have not checked out the POC Amplified Network over on the Band app, you can definitely interact with us there. On the Band app is the community, live feed, events, sharing of information, work, things of that nature. So check us out over on the Band app. What I will do, because I don't think I did it before we launch, is I will go back and put all of the links to the Band app and to our fan base camp in the show notes. So I will get that done. I promise I will do my due diligence to do that now before I do anything else. So I love you all so much for joining and supporting. Any questions, reach out to me, send me comments. I will answer you for sure. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.